Hi everyone, this is Sandy McManus with needsaribbon.com, bringing you the latest and greatest in the Stampin' Up! World. Today on Tuesday, March 20th, it is supposed to be the first day of spring, but if you're in Minnesota, first day of spring is a relative term. It is a date on the calendar. It does not mean that the birds are singing, grass is growing, and trees are budding, apparently, because we got snow today. So, yeah, yippee for spring. It will come eventually, and it'll last all of about 3 days, and then we'll roll to the hot, sticky summer. But I digress on weather, because if you live in Minnesota, that's what you talk about a lot, weather. Just a reminder, today is March 20th. We have exactly 11 days left of celebration! Yay! Where for every $50 you spend, you get to pick an amazing goodie out of this catalog or this catalog, and then they release some other stuff. It's all online too. Certainly can see that. Or for $100 you can pick a level 2 item. If I can pull one up real quick. Maybe not real quick. Like this. Happy Wishes stamp set for a $100 order. And that's in merchandise, not the shipping, handling, and tax. Anyway, I've talked a lot about that in previous lives. So celebration is wrapping up in 11 days. Also, something I have not talked about. And is there even anything in here? I'm sure there is. Yes, there is. If you join Stampin' Up!, which I would love to have you on my team, and I can go on, but this is going to be a short live today because I actually have a stamp meeting tonight. And I can't see if anyone's on either. I have my camera angled a little differently today. Trying to get the lighting filled in. Anyway, for $125 in products, you join for $99 plus only whatever your local tax rate is, which if you're in the Twin Cities can vary from 6.875 to whatever Minneapolis is right now, but you get the idea. It's around 7%. So $99 plus, give or take, $7, $8, somewhere in there. During celebration, you can choose 2 additional free stamp sets up to $101. So go for the really biggies, like the alphabet sets or whatever. That's a great time to get them because they are kind of expensive. Like, I haven't looked at what they are, but $40, $45, $50, whatever. They're kind of expensive. So this is a great time to join. And again, I should do another live and talk about the fantastic benefits of joining my team. I could go on and on. I've been doing this for 13 years for a reason. I love my team. And I don't mean just my downline. I mean my uplines and all of that. My divas that meet once a month. And my Inking of You group, which we do events a couple times a year. In fact, that's where I'm going tonight, is an Inking of You event. Which if you joined, you could come join me. Where we learn 2 techniques by our illustrious Terry Gaines. Anyway, there's a reason. It's the people. It's not just the products. I mean, you can join anyone and just do the products, but it's the people that keep me in this all this time, and it won't change. I won't quit. There's been times where life's been tough, finances have been tough, and I'm like, I just trudged through, and I've stuck with it, and I'm so glad I did, because I've had 12 and a half solid years, more than that now, and I wouldn't have it any other way. The people I have met, the friends that I've made, the experiences we've shared have all been worth it. So give it a thought. That special ends March 31st. Just a little teaser. So I'm not showing any creative stuff today. Well, it kind of is. I want to talk about, my camera. Well, you'll see as much as you can see. I don't know how. I guess I didn't realize this album was that fat. This is a project. And I'll open it up. It's probably going to be upside down. I'm not sure. It's the McManus Holiday Cookbook. This is something that I started this version in 2014 when we were in the middle of, and I'm going to just be really quick, in the middle of a very messy move. And I realized it was coming up at Christmas. We were managing 3 houses and living out of 2 houses, and just, those that know me have heard the scary tale of that horrendous move. It's not the way to do a move, I'll tell you. Moves are never easy, but this was not the way to do it, and we didn't have a choice. Anyway, so it was coming up on the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and I realized my recipes were buried in the bottom of a box, in some box that I had no idea where it was. I was able to find some of the recipes online, fortunately. Some my mom had, and I'm like, you know what? This is the time when I need to put them on my computer. So I started typing them up. At the time, I only had a Mac computer, and Pages is, I think, the name of the app that's like Microsoft Word that came with it. And at that point, Pages was still pretty new, and it was really awkward. Really an awkward app. But I got things kind of typed up. Not all of them, but I got a bit of it typed up. Fast forward to, that was 2014, 2015. Kind of rolled with that. 2016, life was pretty, settled down. And I'm like, okay, I want these recipes in the cloud. I decided I wanted them to be able to access them from any device. Why I wanted them in the cloud instead of printed, that was just kind of the thing. Everybody was throwing stuff up in the cloud. So I started working on that and curating my recipes and getting them typed up and all of that. Well, after I got that kind of done, and here's the thing, I got them up in the cloud, but they were on multiple different devices too. Some I found out were not in the cloud. And it's a good thing I hadn't had any problems with that device, because I would have lost all that typing. Not that the recipes were lost forever, but anyway, this has been a labor of love, and it has taken a long time, and I finally finished it mostly when I was at a scrapbooking retreat in February last month. So what I've done is I've typed a cover letter, and so what I finally decided last year for 2017 holiday season, I pretty much just rolled through the recipes as I had them and tested out, made sure I had tips written down and anything, that kind of thing, that the recipes were perfected. And rather than, my eventual goal was, I really wanted to, I have pictures of all the recipes too, and that was one thing that I started in 2016, and I finished with my cookie part of the holiday book, because this encompasses Thanksgiving, all the Christmas cookies, Christmas morning, Christmas big tasty meal as my kids call it, New Year's Eve appetizers, and then New Year's morning we also do a special meal. This is just what tradition has been for the McManus household. Plus this is just holiday specific stuff. And anyway, in 2016 I had pictures taken of most of the recipes. I finally started pulling them into the scrapbooking app that I use on my phone called Project Life App by Becky Higgins. And I got all the cookies done, tips. I even made a little shopping list on each page of each recipe. It looked really nice. Decided that's not quite the way we shop though. We don't shop by recipe. Generally you go and do bulk shopping. Anyway, I'll get to that. So I got those all done, and my eventual goal was to print this all in a nice photo book and give them to each of family members that I wanted to have this. And we're getting to that. But so I read a nice, so anyway, fast forward to my retreat last month, and I'm finally like, you know what? This project just needs to get done for now. It is not done forever. It is done for now. Sandy needed it off her desk because I'd been sitting with this stuff in the same pile for almost 4 years now. Kid you not, with my index card recipes that I wrote up in 2002, because that was the year that I decided that. Oh heck, I'm tired of pulling out all these different recipe books, and I wrote down most of the recipes on index cards, so at least they were in a grab and go central location, and that's what I lived on until 2014. And it worked. A lot of us have done crazy things. Anyway, I'm hoping that this will inspire you to do something similar if you haven't. So last week I sat and wrote a nice cover letter to whoever uses the book. My hope is that maybe my family will start to get involved. Not that they don't, but maybe there's a year I've had some rough seasons where I can't cook, and maybe there's a year where someone else could take over. Both my kids love to cook, and they cook very well. My husband is a good cook as long as he has a recipe. So kind of hoping to maybe encourage that. So what this is, so I have my title page, which is really kind of sad looking, but that's okay. I have a letter to whoever uses it. I created a table of contents, no page numbers because that's going to vary. It just lists the recipes by meal. And this is something else that I started last 2017, is And each meal has this. The cookies obviously is a different thing, but if the dinner is at 5 o'clock, this is how many hours or whatever timetable where they need to be cooked, because our kitchen is so small and our oven is so incredibly small. We're rotating stuff out of the oven. If we had a normal sized oven, we'd be able to throw it all in there and it'd all be fine. But between space and the oven size, I've had to come up with some odd cooking things that we make it work. And the meal, what's on the meal, and then I have made for each meal, I have made a grab and go shopping list. Now they could certainly print it, whoever could print it from my computer too, but they can also just take this and make a copy and go. And we have used this for like 2 years now, and it seems to be pretty set. And then I have a little section, the items on hand. So in other words, these are things you normally have on your kitchen, so you'd want to go and check to make sure those are indeed in the kitchen. But I organized it by category in the store. So then, I have my recipes. They're not very pretty. I don't have pictures yet. Again, I just wanted this done for now. I do have the source, so someone could pull it up if they wanted, where I got these recipes. Some of them you can't because they're old. They're family recipes. But this is just my Thanksgiving stuff. Nothing fancy. I just used office page protectors. And again, maybe this fall, I actually have a retreat in May. Maybe I'll add in pictures then. We'll see. I'm kind of burnt out on this project. If you want the truth. That's part of why I'm sharing it. I'm going to put it on the shelf and be done. So in 2016, I started keeping track of how many cookies I make each year. And I'm hoping to continue that. And yes, you are reading. You can see that. 2016, I made around both years around 1,100 cookies. Every year I make of my whatever, I don't even know, 17-ish types. There are 2 that I usually leave out because we don't need that many and it's a lot of work, but there's couple that kind of rotate in and out anyway. So moving on, this is how I do it. And this is just a list of the recipes. And then here I have what I came up with last year. And gosh, this was slick. I wished I'd done this years ago. So in other words, I can get it done in like 4 days. The first day, I've got them grouped because they're all like countertop or cooktop. We have a cooktop, not a full oven and cooktop stove thing. They're all there. And then the other days are by oven, but they're by type, kind of the tools you use and everything. And it was a moment of brilliance. I have those once in a while. Not always. And here is my complete items that I need for the holiday baking. I don't keep a lot of this stuff around, so they have to be bought every year. I used to keep all this stuff in my baking cupboard, but it turns out I only bake once a year. I probably need to tweak this to make sure, to do it better. But this is something that I wrote up in 2014 and it works. And it needs to be adjusted by whatever cookies are being made. Anyway, so there's my cookie, blah, blah. I just want to show you. I probably don't even want to look at the time because I need to get going. And my Christmas meals, again, if dinner's at 5, because that seems to be when we eat dinner, because then we eat dinner, we sit around and rub our tummies for a couple hours, and then we go to evening. We have it on Christmas Eve, and then we go to the Christmas Eve candlelight service for church. And the same time, where it's cooked, what the item is, where it's cooked, how long it takes to prep, how long it takes to cook, and what time it'll be ready based on that. And it is pretty good. I mean, in the perfect world, this would automatically work, but I am not a chef. It works for us. And then just the listing of what the meals entailed. And then I have my other handy dandy shopping list for just Christmas Eve, Christmas Day kind of thing. And the spinach sausage brunch casserole, which we only eat once a year because it stays special that way. But honest to God, I started cooking this in like 1993, this recipe. It's a Pillsbury recipe, and it is a tried and true Christmas morning favorite. I used to bake it for my parents and I when it was just the three of us, and eventually my own family, and so on and so on. And it wouldn't be Christmas without that. And one year when I was really sick, I had strep throat and was really sick, and my husband had to cook it. And he, I'm outing him. Where's the recipe? And it calls for, where is it? I think it was 1 cup of flour. He used powdered sugar. He couldn't tell the difference. So it was made with powdered sugar instead of flour. I can still taste it. I'm not kidding. Yuck. But we ate it. We were good sports. So New Year's Eve, all my recipes, same idea. I have a shopping list. And then my New Year's morning, it's just a really short page. It's a really short list because it isn't a lot. And my more appetizers. But anyway, and here's all my recipes. But I just wanted to share. I hope this inspires you to do something similar, maybe a little prettier than mine, because I just wanted to get it done. And it is a lot of recipes that I'm managing. But yeah, it is still kind of a creative thing. And again, I will eventually add pictures and have it bound, either in a spiral bound or a, glue binding book is my hope, or board book or whatever. I don't know. We'll see when the time comes. But that is something that I wanted to do for years. And again, I finally started it in the need for desperation one year when we were moving, and it's done for now and will be finished professionally soon. Anyway, that's all I got. I have to dash off to a stamp meeting tonight, which I'm excited about. I haven't attended it since probably 5 years. I will see y'all on the flip side. I will try and come back tomorrow, Wednesday, live at 5. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.